There's a question from Lee Rhodes, who again couldn't make it today, but what he says is games have kept trying to distance themselves from movies, but the artwork at times seems interchangeable. With all of your experience working within the games industry, do you feel the way we go about designing games, mainly initial concepts, will change?
I don't think games have tried to distance themselves from movies. It's just a different type of entertainment. Like I said earlier, one is linear, one is non-linear. It's a different entertainment experience. Often to the same audiences, but nevertheless quite different. So I don't think there's much more I really can say beyond that.
Okay. From Matthew Dawson, who couldn't make it, he said, I've studied illustration and design, however I am wanting to go into concept art for gaming. Is it possible to start a career in concept art coming from an illustration background, or would it be worth looking into further education such as an MA in concept art?
Well, to a question asked a few minutes ago, yes, it is possible to make a great career out of concept art. Witness Toby Gard, who created Lara Croft. But I don't think necessarily you have to go to university to study concept art. You just have to be a good artist and come up with loads of ideas. I think quantity is really important as well as quality, just to iterate and get some testing back on what you're doing. Are you doing it right? Teacher or lecturer might not be able to tell you, but your audiences certainly can.
Mm-hmm. But those sorts of games, I know that there are games companies in this country that do sort of mobile phone games and stuff like that. But those sorts of high-end games, are they mostly made in other countries these days?
Yes and no. We've got some fantastic studios making high-end console games right here in the UK. None more so than Rockstar North, that's creates Grand Theft Auto, the largest entertainment franchise in the world, bigger than any film, bigger than any music, bigger than any book, and some incredible studios, whether it's Jagex, Creative Assembly. There's a whole range of great studios in this country making high-end. Rocksteady doing the Batman series, and others. At the same time, there's new entrants to the market, games like companies like Playdemic and Convention I mentioned, and a small team I've been associated recently called Vidoki in Leamington Spa, making great games for tablets. So we have the talent here, but we have to give games creators the right support, and that is support in the media. Say games are a good thing, they're not all poisoning children's minds. Let's not forget that 95% of games are family friendly, only 5% carry an 18 rating. Games are great as a career choice, so therefore more parents and teachers and guardians and careers advisors need to know the size of the industry in this country. We're one of the premier games developing nations in the world, and we've made some of the biggest titles. I forgot to talk about TT Games. We've done all the Lego games, from Star Wars to Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings. So we are fantastically great at making games, but we don't always know that we are. So it's not just a career choice, it's also an investable opportunity. So we want the people who hold the purse strings to be able to invest in our creative talent. Fortunately, we haven't got the collateral that other industries have. We are commercializing creative ideas that have value. Our assets are intangible, it's intellectual property only, rather than physical bricks and mortar to get money from. But nevertheless, we are good at it, and we should be supported in many ways.
Okay, I'll come back to your questions. I'll just follow up with one from Matthew, which is, I think, answers some of it was the next question that some of you might like to ask. He says, how do you actually approach gaming studios? Who would you contact within the company? And what is the best way to stand out from other artists?
The only way to stand out is to have a portfolio product that really demonstrates how good you are or not at your craft. So the more you can show, the more likely you are to have an employment opportunity. But you've got to be able to, open the doors. So you've got to go. You're not going to get a job sitting at home wondering why you don't get a job. So you've got to get out there, do your research, find the studios, either locally, if that's where you want to be, or nationally, if you don't mind traveling, and just start saying, look, this is what I can do, give you a job.
So you just start at reception and see who might come and see.
Clearly, you should try and track down the creative director. If that's not possible, go to the HR department if they have one. But be persistent. Brilliant. Make a lot of noise, which is the apt name.
Okay, Eleanor, you have another question about Made W code. Do you want to ask that?
Oh yeah, Made with Code. Yes, that's an initiative set by Google to encourage girls to code.
Yeah.
And a lot of the girls, so it's not just about gender, but it's the thing that I picked up from what they were saying on the website. So all the girls said how they're not just a coder or a biologist or an athlete or a fashion designer. So it's going again to schools. Do you think, because you were mentioning before about Victorian schooling and it's very sort of linear, do you think there could be an opportunity in the future where schooling is more multidisciplinary and there's not set subjects like biology, chemistry, maths, and computer science, where they all sort of interlink in a bigger picture?
Well, to that very point, I think computer science is interdisciplinary. It's not just about coding. It's a way of fathoming out how the world works. It's computational thinking, problem solving, inspiring creativity, and I would say collaboration. And then it's sorting stuff out. It's making stuff. So I think you could apply computer science principles to all subjects. So for me, I think the whole pedagogy of learning has to change from something as alien to most of us, like mathematics. We still require children to learn the formula, but rather than the context of the formula. So I don't know how many of you who are listening today mastered a quadratic equation. I suspect none of you can. I certainly can't. Yet at school, we're just required to do the quadratic equation. We have smartphones and devices that can do the computational bit. What we need to learn in school is how, when, and why we use these formula, and then how we can learn to evolve our own mathematical inquiry. Because maths, as focusing on formula themselves, trigonometry, algebra, etc., is alien to most children because they have no context for the outcome of just doing the number crunching bit. So if you can apply more, we call the STEAM agenda, science, technology, art, and maths, as a sort of joined up thinking, in the right side and the left side of the brain, the arts, the science, the academics, the vocational, I think we're going to have more rounded people who are able to deal with the challenges of the future.
Cool. Thank you, that's really good.
There's a question from Mikey Coombs, who couldn't make it today. He says, do you have any advice on how to stay motivated and focused in this environment?
I have no problem staying motivated and focused because games are my life and I've enjoyed every minute of it, so there's no difference to whether I'm working or playing games. I think that the key thing is enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you do something else. Because if you enjoy what you do, you won't find it hard at all.